Hey, good evening, everybody. Today is Wednesday, so that means Blessed and Grateful Wednesday with CJR. I am also the host of the podcast This Tree and Me. I hope you'll join me every Sunday in new episodes of that. That said, this coming Sunday is about believing in yourself and prove it to yourself. Okay, so let's get into tonight. My topic is somebody who is extremely important to me. And I hope that she will also be my first guest on the podcast. I want her to tell her story. She's got a beautiful love story to tell. And I think everybody needs to hear it, especially in today's day and age of how things are going and just the lack of lasting relationships and things like that. And her birthday is this Friday. I won't say her age, and she watches all my episodes and stuff, so I know she probably wouldn't care, but she's just the single most influential, important, not just woman, not as a mother, I'll let you know who it is now, just as a human being in my life. Like, I've had some great people in my life, and I still have some great people in my life, but there is nobody that will ever come close to my mom. There's a very close second, and she will probably have one of these Wednesdays as well. But my mom is just an absolute beautiful human being. She allows grace for others. She is not ever angry or mad. She just doesn't, I'm sure she gets those emotions, obviously. She's human. But she never takes them out on anybody. She never throws them at anybody else. And I know 100% now I would be not doing my job if I didn't say that I can almost promise you right now, when she's listening to this, at this moment of this video, she will say that's her Catholic Christian faith and praying. I promise you that she believes in that to the core of her soul. To the point, I always remember when we were young, or even as I grew older and stuff, but I can't find this, or I lost this, or pray to Saint X. I can't say who it was. There was always a saint to pray to for something. You lost something, you needed something, you were feeling a certain way. There's always a saint to pray to. It's amazing. And I would be amazed, probably, to find out how many candles that lady has lit for me in her life. I might get a little emotional on this one because it's a hard one for me. Because I love her so much. And I haven't always shown that. I haven't always been that son. And no matter what, whether it was when I was a young knucklehead, well, still a knucklehead, but a young knucklehead, my high school years, which I was not the best human being in the world, to after I got married and, got older and had children and maybe wasn't fulfilling my fatherly duties, my husband duties, my duties as a man and for my household and the people that I loved. No matter any of that, whatever I needed, if I called, she was there. If she could, she would. To the point to where I know there was times she couldn't, she still did. And I know I caused her pain. I know I've caused, I would assume, I'm not going to speak for her, but from my vantage point, I'm sure that her and my father had conversations about me in different stages of my life of how I should help, or she should help, how I needed help and how they would give it to me. But she was always there. And she still is to this day. And this journey that I'm on is not because of her or for her. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to be on it without her. The support, just the love. She is just an absolutely amazing person. I watched her, to give a little bit of levity to this, I watched her for probably 20 years total, between my grandmother, her mother, and then my dad. Both of them were in nursing homes for different reasons. And I watched my mom every single day. Whether it was my grandma and she was going up there doing her hair, making sure her nails were done, or just making sure her medication was right. She was eating. She was just having people in her life. Just knowing that she was not alone. To my dad, and watching my dad at that time with dementia, and probably getting a glimpse of how when they first met, how they flirted and, ribbed each other a little bit, but like the flirting, the love, I probably got to witness a little bit of that just because of where my dad's mind was. And when he looked at her, he saw her. He rarely, in my opinion, did not know who she was or what she was to him. And it was amazing to watch her. I didn't appreciate it always at that time. I wasn't in a mental place or an emotional place to really understand everything. Even though I was a grown man, I should have appreciated it more. I did with my dad. With my grandma, it was a little different. I was a little younger, but that doesn't matter. Just to watch how she gives to anybody and everybody. I have never, guys, and this is no BS at all. I have never heard one person in my entire life speak an ill word of that lady. Ever. Now, I couldn't see a reason why. We are human, and there could be things that would happen. Never. Not at her work, not in her golfing and friend circle and stuff. She loved golf. That was her and my dad's thing. She loved to dance. Her and my dad, that's how they kind of connected and stuff. And they could dance. And then to watch how she was with all of her grandchildren. All of them. There's no one above the other, none of that stuff. It's just, mom just loves everybody. She wants for everybody. She gives for everybody. And I hope that I can get her on this show because I know she will absolutely enjoy telling the story about her and my dad. I was thinking about it. It was either this morning or yesterday. I think it was this morning when I was writing that the courage that it took for her to marry my father. I understand that I grew up in a Volga German community. They were all German. Like my mom's third generation. If I'm pretty sure we've talked about that. She was third generation. All my aunts and uncles, all my friends' parents and aunts and uncles, all married within the Volga German Catholic ideology. It's crazy. They spoke. It was a different dialect than because of where they came through and were brought up. It's not the common German dialect. There's a high and a low. I believe we're the low. I'm almost positive on that. But they spoke German around the house, and then Germanlish, right? The German English kind of thing. But and for my mom to step out of that and marry my dad, that's courage. That's following your heart. That's meeting somebody and just knowing, I don't care where you're from, what you've done, any of this, what your background is, what your religion is, which my dad, I'll let my mom tell a story. I really want her to tell a story. To do that, to take him home and say, all right, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, here's Cliff. And, however that went, I'd love to hear that conversation as well. That's just amazing to me because it was just unheard of back then. Now it's a lot different. Generations have come and gone and things like that. But back then, you just didn't. And, to give a little bit of that story, my dad literally had to fight people to date my mom because he was not from that community. He was not born in Hays, Kansas. He was not German, Volga German. He was not Catholic. He was none of those things. He didn't even live in Hays until, right when they first met and things like that, which again, it's a great story. I really hope that she'll come on here and tell it. But just to think of those times back then, my dog, he wears me out sometimes, to go against the traditions and the beliefs and the religion of it all, that just didn't happen back then. It just didn't. So, it starts there, obviously. It starts well before that. Obviously, because she had a phenomenal mom and dad. My grandfather and grandma were beautiful people. My grandfather's still to this day, barring my dad, they're shoulder and shoulder. But my grandfather was a phenomenal human being. He was great, and I can see why she is, because that's where she came from, both of them. So, but to me, I really can't give enough flowers. I don't have the vocabulary. I don't even know if the vocabulary exists to say what she means to me. What I have lacked in appreciating my entire life of watching her. I wish I could have grabbed that when I was a lot younger. I didn't. It's in there. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't live it with her. And it's something to me that I can't ever replace. No one will ever be able to. And they shouldn't, but the amount of love that I feel from her and the amount of love that I see her give to my siblings, my children and all of her other grandchildren, and her, I want to say 14 great-grandchildren. Like, my mom is healthy. I always joke that she's going to outlive me. Like, she is she is kicking. She's above 80, and she is kicking. And it's just, she just takes care of herself. She goes at her pace. She does what she does. She knows her limits. She lives within her limits. Like, just, she is a true example of how you want to live. Be kind. No, she doesn't talk bad about other people. She just doesn't. She'd always get on us when we would. She gives 4, 5, 6, 300 chances. I can promise you that one. And I'm blessed because I was her son. Because I was in that circle from birth. She's a mom. And she is a true mom. Like, she loves her kids. Once you're in that circle, and I've seen it with her friends. I see it with one of her best friends that I've known my whole life. I think, as long as I can remember, I've known her best friend. One of them, but this one I think is the best friend. And I see her now that her best friend isn't, doing the greatest health-wise, how it affects her and how she just shows up for her. Literally, the presence that my mom shows for people is probably the greatest gift that I could ever get from her. The presence. That's probably the best way to say it. She shows her love. She just shows up for people. Whether it's hard, whether it's not. There's a lot of things that go on in everyone's life. She's lived a long life. She's had a lot of different things. She's had many kids and many grandkids and all that. And there's been a lot of things that go on in that life. And she just takes it. And I promise you, she prays. She will preach that forever and forever and forever. But I know I could just sit here and ramble about it forever. And I don't want to take away the value, God, I don't even know the word, I don't want to take away the presence, the gift, the magnitude of my mom. There's not enough words that I could say. There's probably words that aren't even in a vocabulary that need to be said. She is simply the most important person in my life. Always has been. Always will be. So, not only do I just love you all, that comes from her. That's a gift that she has shown me. Just love people. I love you, Mom. And I tell you every time I can, but I love you. So, before my mascara starts running, I gotta make a joke to get out of this. She'll appreciate that. That's just kind of who I've always been. So, blessed and grateful Wednesday. I hope that you can think of somebody that means that much to you and really just take the appreciation of it. We all have someone. Hopefully you have many. I have many. But that level, like, she is just another mold. So, all right, to the business stuff. I appreciate everybody. The next episode, Believe in Yourself, Prove It to Yourself, is going to be Sunday. We'll drop that, this Tree and Me podcast then. Keep on the lookout on all my socials at Cory J. Riggs, www.coryjriggs.com. All the socials are at Cory J. Riggs, YouTube, Insta, and TikTok. For my morning minute, I do a morning minute with everybody to try to get everybody just to take a breath. And then now I've started a evening calm is what I'm calling it, to do the same thing before you go to bed so you can have a good night's sleep. So close the day off, go to sleep, start the day off, take that moment, that minute in the morning, and just be. So I hope that I've given you something to think about And I hope that you will take the time every day. Be grateful every day. Find blessings in everyday life. But celebrate that person as much as you can. Whether you can truly do it or not, I can't. I can't truly celebrate that amount of presence in my life. But I'll give it a shot. And I'm not dead, and neither is she. So as long as both of those things are true, she'll know it. And even after one of us go, I hope that my energy still stays with her, because I know hers will stay with me. Again, I am CJR, and this is Blessed and Grateful Wednesdays. I am extremely thankful for everybody who's reaching out. It's coming in more and more every day. It's really helping me, and I hope that I'm helping you in some way, shape, or form, because that is, at the end of this, what my hope is and my goal is. I love you all. I love you, Mom. Be blessed.